All right, again, welcome back again. We have our guest in the studio, like we said earlier. She's an amazing personality, media executive and presenter who holds a master's degree in marketing and distribution. And from the National Film and Television Schools, built a very impressive career spanning media, broadcasting, investment banking, and strategic content engagement. She's also the founder of Corporate Africa, which is a monthly network platform connecting African professionals globally, and has been recognized as one of the most influential people of African descent under 40, supported by the United Nations, passionate about diversity, innovation, and building meaningful professional communities. Good to have you on the show this morning.
Thank you. Thank you, Tolu and Tisha.
That's a lot of profound meaning there, yeah.
quite a
You look
lot.
amazing. Yeah, so
Thank
let's
you.
start from the scratch.
Yeah.
What actually drew you into, you know, the media world? Is it branding, storytelling, or the influence? What actually,
None
what
of that.
inspired?
So it was over 20 years ago that I started in the media space, and it was by accident. I was helping an aunt of mine to do a networking event called Foreign Investment Networks, and I was helping her, assisting her. And the owner of Ben TV, Alistair Sheridan, was there at the time. They had their camera set up, they were going to cover the event, and the presenter didn't turn up. And at the time, I was much slimmer, taller, whatever it was. And he said, "Oh, Miss Nigeria, come here." I wasn't Miss Nigeria, but I had white and green on. And then he said, come and cover the event. And I said, "Me, cover events?" And yeah. So I did an intro on camera, and I said, "Okay, I can do this." And then from there, started working for Ben TV, did their magazine show. Femi, we call him Femi, Ben TV was
yes,
there.
yes.
So at the beginning of the Ben TV, where all the Afrobeats artists came through, I was there around that time, the magazine show. We had the likes of JJC,
Way back,
419
JJC, 419 Squad,
Squad,
yes.
The Band, all of them when they started off back then in the UK. So yeah, and that's how I started. I got the bug for it. I was happy. I was doing it. It was, it just made me feel alive. That I was connecting with people. And then from there, I decided to do a training course. I went on, I think it was 3 months training course. I looked for a presenting course online, and I went every Saturday. I learned how to do auto cue reading, how to vox pop on the streets, interview people, write stories, and then yeah, from there I started doing things on the side. And
So it's safe to say the universe brought it to you.
Exactly.
Yeah, so that wasn't an
Yeah.
accident. I didn't
No.
think so. Yeah.
No.
Okay, so let's look at the fact that you're international about, very intentional about diversity
Yeah.
and black representation in media. Why is that a very important conversation to have?
At this day and age, it's important. I think diversity overall is important, especially in the UK, where you have, obviously we're a minority, 8% of the population are black of African descent in the UK. Don't quote me on those exact stats, but yeah. So it's important for us to have different voices on the table, because sometimes you watch certain films and you're thinking, how did they allow that person to do that culturally? We wouldn't do that. So if you had somebody of a different culture sitting on that table or part of that production, then,
Sorry to cut you there. I think we'll have to take
Okay.
a quick break. And when we'll come back, we'll still have our guests in the studio. Don't go anywhere. All right, welcome back to the show. And like we said, we still have a very, very amazing personality who's worked across Port Estelle Day, highlighting different conversations in the media space and on the global scene. So just looking at, from your experiences, why African professionals abroad are still getting it wrong about their visibility and positioning.
I was thinking about this question, and I can only speak from my own perspective and my own experience of living in the UK. America will probably be a different experience, but for me, I think what has been important for me to being able to have visibility in the place of work is ensuring that I mix with the right people. I have people that would champion me in a workplace, but not only champion me, I also have to show that I'm bringing value. So I have to be good, because UK is all based on merit. Are you actually good at what you do? And how do you speak about that? How do you showcase that? And also making sure that you connect to the right people who have influence in the workspace is important. So I think that's how you get visibility. That's how you influence decisions, and also to socialize with people. we have this thing where some Nigerians are like, oh, I don't want to go to the pub, I don't want to go out for drinks with people, but that's where decisions are being made, and that's where you find out information, because colleagues will know things that you didn't know. So when you're having drinks with them is when people are likely to be able to socialize with you and then tell you what's really happening in the workspace. So I think that's important, to build your network within the organization and to find the right people that will push you and influence you.
Thanks for the tip. I think I got that.
Okay.
Yeah. So looking at your identity as an African, you're deeply rooted. How has that actually influenced how you negotiate, how you kind of move, how you walk in the room tall, in the global spaces? Because of course you look confident, So how has that influenced?
It's looking confident and actually being confident, right? And I think being confident is knowing, also having the knowledge, because when you know something, then you're okay to talk in spaces. When you talk about being African, I said to Sugar earlier on the radio show that I consider myself a hybrid. I'm in between cultures. I'm in between the UK and Nigeria. When I come here, you guys see me as British, right? You see me as quite English in my ways. When I'm in the UK, they see me as a black woman of African descent. So there's aspects of me that doesn't actually fit into certain spaces. But what's unique about me is my experience and who I am. And that's what I try to push. I try to be rooted by keeping in touch with my culture. I was fortunate enough because I was brought up by my sisters who spoke Yoruba to me in the house. So that means I didn't lose who I was culturally, in terms of, you have to kneel down to your elders, talk to your elders in certain ways. Those are rooted in me. I love when we go out to our parties and things like that. And I don't hide that. I bring food to the workplace. I'll cook them jollof rice. They love jollof rice. I was even shocked once I had ayamashi, and one of the guys was like, oh, can I try? I said, are you sure? It's really spicy. The guy tried it. So I try to infuse some of our food and introduce people, talk to them about Nigeria based on what I know. And that way it sets me apart. So I'm not fully British, I'm not fully Nigerian, I'm somewhere in between, but I try to mix the two together, and that makes me uniquely me.
And that makes you rooted.
Yes.
Nice.
So
That's a really interesting thing. So let's talk about corporate Africa. I mean, that started as a networking idea. What gap were you trying to solve?
So Corporate Africa was actually co-founded. I didn't actually found it. And at the time I was working in the banking world. And what I found was there wasn't enough of us in the space. So I thought to myself, how can I meet other people in different banks? How can I people in Citibank, Deutsche Bank, how can we come together? And that's how Corporate Africa started. So we used to do it first Friday of every month in the city. And also that opened up my networks to meet French-speaking Africans as well. Wow. So I met people from Togo. I have long life friends from Togo now. So that's how Corporate Africa started. There was a gap in the market where young Africans needed to meet themselves in order to build their networks.
So talking about connection, what kind of connection have you made or has been built over time, the moment you had from Corporate Africa?
The most memorable and I guess the most significant thing that happened for Corporate Africa for me was that's where I got the opportunity to do the show Niger Bites. So I used to do a cooking show called Niger Bites that we sold to DSTV. I think it was on African Magic or Urban back then. And that's how I left the banking world, because I met the owner of OHTV at the time through running Corporate Africa. So he saw me running Corporate Africa, and I used to be deliberate about it. So I would host, I would present. So when we had speakers, I would moderate. So that helped me to also, hone in my skills, practice my skills, engage with audiences. And I was okay, this girl's doing something. And somebody left who was doing the cooking show, and he said, would I like to do the cooking show? And that took me to LA. So that's the most significant thing from doing Corporate Africa, where I was visible to somebody who saw what I was doing, liked what I was doing, and therefore led to other things, other opportunities.
So I know the world is more about community, and everybody wants to build community. Why do you think community-driven platforms are more important than just corporate success, or success on its own?
I don't think success on its own brings anybody joy. Does it really? I don't know. Community is important. You need people around you, and you need good people around you. People who will tell you the truth, people who will be honest with you, people who won't try to steal from you, people who won't try to, So I think community is important. Having not necessarily like-minded people, because you also need people who have different perspective, different ideas that can challenge you. I think success on its own, it has its goods and bad, but you can't enjoy success on your own. You need people. Most people who are successful with people. I know people who are doing well and they've known each other since maybe being at university, and they've been deliberate about working together to build each other up. So when one goes to an exam, there's already an example of, okay, this is how you do it. Somebody wants to go into a corporate world, this is how you do it. So I have stories of men and women who have stayed together and helped each other to grow. So community is important, but with the right set of people.
Okay, that makes sense, and I caught that tip too, because some people liken success to just money and just for you to be able to afford things, and don't look
But I
into
think
the
it
aspect
comes
of
with that.
relationship.
Yeah.
Right? They don't just look at relationship; they just feel it's just the money
Yeah.
definition of success. So thank you for that. So now back to Nigeria. Let's come back home. Okay, so you're currently here. What has actually stood out for you over the time that you've been around?
What has stood out for me?
Yes, of course. I know you make the food. You know the jollof rice, I imagine.
all
But
those
what
things.
else?
Yeah, I always come back to Amala.
Really?
Gbegiri.
And all the others are, that's it.
my
That's the
good,
classic.
Pounded
Yeah.
yam.
And I'm not so much of a fan of
Ewedu,
Semo,
amala,
I actually surprisingly like
Yeah.
semo
Yes.
with eforiro.
That's
so
it.
That's
That's
nice.
it.
I've enjoyed myself a bit too much. So I said I have to be careful back.
How about the traffic?
How about
The traffic?
the
As
luckily, I
Lagos
haven't been
living.
stuck in traffic because I came after the dirty December.
Oh,
So
Congratulations.
It's been better, and also people have been off work, so I've been lucky in this time. frame.
Very lucky.
But I've been told that next week
Yeah.
I need to get
Go
ready for
back
the
to
headache. But I think what stood out is things are getting better. Well, I don't think we're still there. Every time I come to the airport, it's better, it's quicker, but it's still not. We're still not on a global scale or level. So I think there's still room for improvement. And I think people just need to take pride in doing good work. You know, just doing good work for the sake of doing good work. It's important, even for self-esteem. Not just do things and something is out of line, or, you know, I think Nigerians need to do
Improve.
better. Yeah.
Well, hopefully we'll.
Thank you.
And I don't know if that's through school. I've always said I think it starts from education. From being in the school in the UK, you're taught about collaboration, you're taught about teamwork, you're taught about doing good work, because it's for everyone's benefit.
Yes, just speaking about collaboration, to hit the point, do you see the possibilities of collaborations between creatives and executives here and abroad?
Yeah, definitely. I think people are already doing collaborations, people are doing work, but like anything, we have to be prepared to do work at the global standards. And that means training yourself. That means doing, not just, I'm going to pick up a camera and I'm just going to go for it. But you have to learn how to actually do things properly if you want to compete with everybody else. Because people have gone to school. Like you mentioned the National Film and Television School. I went back to study because I wanted to understand the business side of film and TV. And with that, it was a very practical course where I worked with directors, I worked with producers. So we used to work like we're actually on a film.
team,
Yeah.
field on the field.
So if we were to go out and do a film today, this is how it's going to work. You're going to work with script writers, you're going to work with producers, you're going to work with directors, you're going to work with creatives, people who are creating the posters. And everybody had to learn how to do their job properly. You know, so yeah, I think it's important to improve your skills if you want to compete, because that's the only way people are going to see us. We can't do films and then suddenly the sound drops.
It has to be on top
Yeah.
all
Yeah.
the time.
Yeah.
True.
Yes,
True.
I got that too. Thank you very much. It's like a master class. But yeah, so let's just take something quick, very light, on a lighter note, fun and personal, of course. So
Okay.
we'll do some rapid fire questions, and you're just a peek instantly. Are we good?
Yeah.
All right. So if you are to say what country energizes you most, Nigeria or UK?
I think both do things in different ways.
Yeah, take one.
Nigeria has the vibe and UK definitely has
It's
the
either
vibe.
Nigeria or the UK. So
Okay, I guess Nigeria energizes me because of the weather.
The UK is a bit,
Because when I wake up, I'm like, not that the UK is dark, you know, oh my God, do I have to get up today? So I guess if I have to be honest with myself, Nigeria energizes me.
that's what the vibe is.
Yeah.
So what one habit have you missed the most about being in Nigeria or being a Nigerian?
What have I missed? Or
Yes,
what am I going to miss?
one habit you missed
Habit.
while you're abroad. You know, being in Nigeria, you remember that there's always something
Habit
that
is personal to me as a
things
habit.
that are personal to us as Nigerians,
terms
or
of
things
what
you do
people
when you're here.
service.
Yes.
I think I'm going to miss having somebody cook for me because I know service is relatively affordable here. So having those, like a driver, I'm gonna miss people sort of driving me around. So
Okay.
those things I definitely miss when I go back. You know, if you call a chef to
Because
just
you have
cook,
to work yourself
I'm
there.
gonna work myself. I can't, you know, cooking stew, I'm cooking jollof rice. I need someone to come and do it
That's
for me.
the part of the fun. Okay, so if you were into media, let's
Yeah.
say if you were into media, what else would I catch you doing?
I think if I wasn't in media, I would still be in HR. I was in HR banking. And
Wow.
I know that I'm good with people. So that's my skill set and that's my thing. So I probably, actually, or maybe marketing. I like to think I'm good at marketing. So I think.
Oh, you like to think? Oh,
I like
that's
to
No,
think.
you definitely
think-
look like someone that be good at marketing. You definitely
Yeah.
look like you have the skills.
So yeah,
But what's that one thing people are surprised about you?
I'm surprised that I'm not the eldest because I think I give older, responsible vibe apparently.
Okay.
So I'm one of 12. People are surprised by that.
Wow.
And I'm the last girl. I have 2 younger brothers after me. So
That's actually the one trap family. Nice.
And we love the sound of music. in our
Yes.
house.
Yes.
They're like 12 in that family.
Yeah.
12 or
Yeah.
13.
12. Wow, that's interesting.
Yeah.
All right, so looking forward, projecting forward, you were being named one of the most influential figures, people who under 40. So that recognition, what does it mean to you personally? Having that kind of, recognition, being valued and cherished, that,
Yeah.
oh, this is what you've done so far. What does it really mean personally?
I felt really proud when I was picked and when I was chosen. And yeah, a sense of pride, and also not just a sense of pride, it's nice to be part of that network. So there's a network of us who are in what we call MyPad, the most influential people of African descent. And it's nice because anywhere I go in the world, I've actually met a MyPad. So if I'm going to South Africa, I'm asking who is in South Africa, and then we get to meet up, and they're able to tell me this is what's going on, take me places. So it's been beneficial in that sense. So not only to be awarded the award, but also to be able to have access to the community.
Oh, nice.
So,
That's so impressive. So what's next for you? Community development, community building, and just engagement here and there, or just maybe something that we're not expecting. What's in the works for you?
I don't know, we'll
For you?
see.
Corporate impact, you
Surprise.
know?
Maybe another networking that's not corporate Africa.
Okay,
I'm
maybe
thinking,
some
yeah,
fact-finding mission here in Lagos,
Yeah.
Nigeria, or
Yeah.
somewhere.
Let's see.
Okay.
Watch this space.
All
All
right.
right, so like you're kind of keeping it in the bag, but then we'll watch the space. So if you were to give an advice to a young African who wants to break into the global media space,
Yeah.
especially, what's the advice you give to young Africans?
I would say you are in a time where information is accessible. You can easily get attention, right? So make sure you're having the right attention, not just noise. Don't just create noise. Be knowledgeable. And I tell myself this because I have colleagues who've been in the industry for 20 years who tell me you have to know your market. You have to know your stuff. So it's continuously reading, improving on your learning. So not just making noise, but what value are you bringing? And more importantly, be yourself. There's only one you. There's something unique about me.
Yeah.
I think people laugh at my laugh.
You smile. You have a very beautiful smile.
Thank
You have a very beautiful smile and laugh. Yes.
So my
Okay.
laugh is infectious, so I tend to laugh a lot anyway. But some people hide things about themselves, but actually
Sure.
that's probably what makes you stand out more. So embrace what you might think is a flaw, but it's actually unique to you. Use that to your advantage, but don't just create noise. Make sure you have knowledge and keep learning and keep developing your skills. That's what I'll say.
That's so spot on. Thank you so much, Esther, for coming on the show. It was
Thank
really nice to
you.
share your wisdom, your knowledge, and
you.
just general ideas around what the work you're doing, the beautiful work you're doing and have done over the years. Yeah, so you're proof that media isn't just about screens, about strategy, communication, community, and creating rooms for other people to flourish and rise. Thank you so
Yeah.
much for coming.
You guys are amazing. Thank you
Thank
for having
you
me.
so
The
much.
2
So
T's.
Yes. Maybe we'll borrow you a tea, so with Esther T. Alade. It'll be
Hey.
nice.
Yeah, that is so nice.
All right, thank you so much for joining us
Thank
to
you
share
for
your
having
journey
me.
and perspective on the show.
Yeah.
All right, guys, Friday is here, knocking on the door,
Exactly.
saying
It's gonna be a
bye-bye.
long weekend. Our word for the day.
Yeah.
So let's take this by Eleanor Roosevelt, who says, "No one can make you feel inferior without your consent. No one can make you feel
Nobody
inferior
can make you feel
without your consent." That's Eleanor Roosevelt. So
Yes.
remember to always follow us on our social media platform, and you can watch the playback right there on YouTube. It is there for you. Share share, like, subscribe, whichever way, drop your comments, and we hope you had fun with us today.
Yes, and on that note, to say our goodbyes, we always have these hashtags that we forget. But
Yeah.
we also bring it back today. No to double justice, say no to child abuse, and you stay focused. Have
Yes,
a
we
beautiful
focus.
weekend. Sorry, the holidays are over. You're back to work next week. Starting the week with us next week. So have a beautiful day, guys. We'll see you on Monday. Bye-bye.
Bye.